We don't have to have heart attacks. We don't have to have strokes. We don't have to get demented. And yes, we can win the war on cancer. We have the information right now in the studies that show that a body is protective against cancer. We can make these choices and have better health than ever before possible in human history.
Hey everyone, thank you for watching. In this video, we're going to discuss the nutritarian diet. As you just saw, basically it's a diet that's nutrient dense. That's the main concept. In fact, I would say that it's a nutrient density is a cornerstone concept, and that's the concept of a nutritarian diet in a nutshell. It is very science-based and science supported, indirectly through research on antioxidants that are naturally within foods, naturally contained within foods. We're not talking about supplement antioxidants. We're talking about antioxidants that are naturally inherent in food groups. Particularly your highest concentrated foods of antioxidants are going to be fruits and vegetables, amongst other foods. But that being said, in that sense, it's very scientifically supported. Now, in and of itself, it's a rather, not going to say untested diet, but certainly I think it's still relatively new and it's taken a while to catch on, but certainly I'm not going to wait around for it to catch on, because I believe that it's just an absolutely incredible dietary regimen, and the logic is profound. So the main acronym that's easy to remember in terms of the main superfood groups in this diet, the acronym is called GBOMS. And basically, I'm going to show you right now what that stands for. Now, just to be clear, that's essentially what it stands for. Now, that being said, I will say that I'd like to group nuts into the seeds acronym. In fact, I think he alluded to it in some of his books, that seeds/nuts. So that being said, what I like about this approach, this nutritional approach to eating, is that no other diets put emphasis on nutrient density, particularly to this degree. And mainly, the emphasis on the nutritarian diet is on antioxidant, phytochemical, and phytonutrient emphasis, or I should say content of foods. So that's what I mean when I say I don't count my calories, I make my calories count. I talk about making calories count based on this whole concept, this cornerstone concept of nutrient density. Now, it can be a vegan diet, it can be a nutritarian vegan diet, and here's the thing that a lot of people are not aware of. It is actually not a vegan diet. His main explanation is that it's not the absence of animal products or meat, it's the excess of vegetables, fruits and vegetables, that has been shown to be the cardioprotective effect or benefit. That benefit comes from the excess of fruits and vegetables. So I believe he talks about, initially he would recommend limiting the diet to 10% calories from animal products if one is, not 100% plant-based. So that's really interesting that a lot of people don't know about that. And I've seen other videos on the nutritarian diet, and a lot of people have great videos and so forth. But I also think that a lot of people take his advice too literally, which is fine. But sometimes we need to read between the lines, and we need to kind of adjust or adapt the diet to suit our own individual needs. We can customize it to some extent. So we use the principles as a guideline, and we kind of customize it to our own individual needs. So, also, this diet, being that it's like basically 90% plant-based, is supported by the Blue Zone data. The Blue Zones are the populations that have the greatest amount of people who live to be 100. and I believe it's like per capita or per every 10 or 100,000 people or whatever it is. They have the greatest ratio. So, and most of their diets are highly plant-based, as you'll see right now.
With hundreds of diets competing for your attention, it's hard to decide what to eat. Even if you pick the right diet, no diet has ever worked for more than about 3% of the people who start it. So, diets are good for selling books and weight loss programs, but practically useless for delivering lasting health. The Blue Zone solution offers another way. We found places around the world where people are healthiest, with the lowest rates of cancer, heart disease, and obesity. Then, we distilled 155 dietary surveys to determine a global average of what these people ate. And along the way, made a few surprising discoveries. We found that about 95% of the food came from plants, that they actually ate a high-carb diet with relatively low amounts of protein and fats. They snacked on nuts, about a handful a day, and the cornerstone of every one of their diets was the simple bean. About a cup a day. This way of eating came naturally for these people. They didn't have to diet or deprive themselves of anything. They simply lived in places that made the right choices for them. The Blue Zone solution shows you not only what to eat, but how to set up your surroundings so that your healthy choice is not only the natural choice, it's unavoidable. www.bluezones.com.
So not only does this diet have a lot of science to support it, there's also population data to support it. That's huge. Let me get back to what I was saying. So I don't necessarily follow his diet verbatim. I simply use it as a guide for the most part, and I pick my spots when I want to stray away from it. So for instance, instead of using dried fruit as a sweetener, I'll sometimes use stevia, okay? As far as plant protein powders, I sometimes have a plant protein shake. That's an example of straying away from the stringency. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it, of his diet. What I like about this diet is that it's the highest dietary or nutritional standard in existence or out there right now. So even if you follow it somewhat, you're going to be better off. Okay? Kind of goes back to customizing it. You don't have to go cookie cutter with it and follow it exactly as is. You can kind of adopt it and take the best and leave the rest. So that's all I want to say about this diet. I want to keep this video nice and simple, to the point. I'd like to just open it up now, open the floor for you guys if you'd like to leave any comments, or feel free to ask questions about this diet. But I certainly endorse this diet. I think it's a phenomenal diet, and this is probably my first video where I'm actually endorsing a diet rather than disagreeing with it. So I think this diet has a lot of good for most people, and it's a bigger picture diet. It looks at the bigger picture. It looks at health and overall wellness. And the weight will naturally be lost simply by eating a diet that's nutrient dense. In fact, if you look at the bottom of this video, I'm going to go ahead and list in the description box, I'm going to list all of Dr. Fuhrman's studies, which is another thing that makes this diet really cool, is he's actually published research on this diet. And I'll also attach studies on the benefits of fruits and vegetables and diets that are high in antioxidants. So I'm telling you, this diet is ahead of its time. And as you can see, the whole field of antioxidants and phytochemicals and phytonutrients is very complex, as you can see in this graph. The amount of different antioxidants discovered, and there's probably many that aren't even discovered yet. But why are we going to wait around? Like, for instance, they may find some new antioxidants in kale or in spinach or some other food, right? And it just gives more people reason to eat it. Well, I'll feel good about when those new findings come out. I'll say I knew all along. Not about the new findings, but I knew it was good enough for me to buy into it and eat it. And the new studies will just confirm what the belief and the understanding of of food and what we know. It's not what I know, it's what a lot of people before me have figured out. And I'm just here spreading the wealth of health. I'm here as like almost like a reporter, and I'm providing this information. And also being able to interpret it to some extent and kind of translate it. So thank you for watching. Tune in next time.